Happy morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class. Today, we are continuing with our Civics Lesson 1, Part 2. In the last class, we studied about various symbols through a story. And today, we are going to study about other national symbols of our country. So, the first symbol of our country is our national flag. So our national flag is a tricolored flag. Tricolored means consisting of three colors. Okay. So the top portion of our flag has saffron color, middle portion white color, and the bottom portion consists of green color. So what saffron represents? Saffron represents two important things. One is valor. Valor means the courage of our freedom fighters who protested against the British government. Sacrifice means shedding blood. Okay, it represents death. Okay, so when our freedom fighters they protested against British rule, they were killed by them. They shed their blood. So, in remembrance of their sacrifice and their valor, we have saffron color at the top of our national flag. Then the next white color represents honesty, peace, and purity. Since white color consists of no stains, we call it the symbol of purity, honesty, and also peace. And the green color at the bottom, it represents fertility and prosperity. That is, we all know trees, plants, and crops are in the green color. So, it represents our wealth. Okay, wealth of our nation. And there is a chakra which we call Ashoka chakra in the middle of our flag, consisting of 24 spokes. Okay, it will be in navy blue color. So it represents truth and peace. Okay, truth and peace. Okay, now let's study about the length and width of our national flag. So the proportion should be 3 is to 2. That is, for example, if the length of our flag is 3 meters, then the width should be in 2 meters. Or if the length of the flag is 3 feet, then the breadth should be 2 feet. Okay, 3 is to 2 proportion. So one of our very important freedom fighters named Tirupur Kumaran, he was born in Chennimalai of Erode district. So during the year 1932, when Mahatma Gandhiji was arrested by the British government, there were protests against the British all over India. So in Tirupur also there was a protest. So during this protest, the British armies they attacked the people who protested for the arrest of Gandhiji. So Tirupur Kumaran also he took part in this protest, and he was brutally attacked by the British army, and he faced death in that attack. So even at his death, he did not leave the flag which was in his hand. He holded the flag firmly even at the death. So he was honored as a title given to him as Kodikatha Kumaran. And also in honoring his name, our Indian government has released post with his uh, image. So the national flag, our national flag was designed by a man named Pingali Venkaya. He is from Andhra Pradesh. And the first Indian flag was made in Gudiyatham, which is in Vellore district of Tamil Nadu. So this first flag was hoisted by our first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, on 15th August of 1947 at Red Fort in Delhi. And this flag uh, was kept in St. George Fort Museum in Chennai. Okay, now let's move on to the next symbol of our country, which is our national emblem. So you all know this about this emblem, isn't it? It is a Ashoka's. It is in Ashoka's pillar, isn't it? Which is located in Sarnath in Uttar Pradesh. So in this pillar, we can see four lions facing each direction. Four lions facing each direction. And in this emblem, at the bottom of the emblem, there is a word inscribed in it. Satyame Jayate is a slogan, is a motto inscribed in this pillar. Okay, the meaning of this word is truth alone triumphs. That is, only truth wins. Okay, so this emblem was accepted as our national emblem in the year 1950, 26th January. That is during the Republic Day. So this emblem consists of two parts. One is the upper part and other one is the lower part. And these two parts were separated by a circular pedestal in between. So in the upper part only we can see four lines facing each direction, north, east, south and west. And below the circular pedestal we can see uh, an elephant, a horse, bull and a lion. So elephant represents force, energy, horse represents speed, bull represents hard work and lion represents majesty. So there was a chakra in between these animals, which is a we call wheel of righteousness. So this emblem we can see them in many of our government communications, such as our Indian currency and also in Indian passport. Even in coins also you can see our national emblem. Okay. Okay, our next symbol will be our national anthem. You all know every day in our assembly we have national anthem. Janagana Mana is our national anthem. And you all know who wrote this, isn't it? Rabindranath Tagore. He wrote it in Bengali. So our national anthem represents sovereignty and integrity of our nation. And this anthem was translated into Hindi and it was accepted as our national anthem during 24th January 1950. So there are some rules to be followed while singing national anthem. We have to sing, we have to complete the song in 52 seconds. Then everyone should stand erect in attention while singing national anthem. So in order to give respect, we have to stand erect. We should not lean on something or we should not sit and sing national anthem. It is against our law. And while singing, you should know the meaning while singing. So when you sing the song, you should know its meaning also. So these are the three important rules where you have to follow while singing national anthem. And the next thing is we also have our national song. So Vande Mataram is our national song and it is composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. So this song, before our independence, it was sung by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. So whenever this song was sung, it creates a inspiration to the people of our country. It provokes freedom, emotional freedom attitude in the mind of the people. So this song is accepted as national song. So this song was accepted as our national song on January 24th, 1950 by our first president of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So in the Constituent Assembly, this song was sung. So the next symbol of our country is our national pledge. So our national pledge also every day in our school assembly we have this pledge, isn't it? India is my country, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. So this pledge was written by Pyadimiri Venkata Subba Rao in Telugu language. Then national microorganism. So even in microorganism we have a symbol. Okay, so the name of our national microorganism is Lactobacillus delbrueckii. Lactobacillus delbrueckii. So this is a microorganism. What is microorganism? It is invisible living being, a living being which is invisible to our naked eye. So we can see these type of organisms only through microscope, and it is single celled organism. Microorganisms always will be single celled. Single cell means they don't have, we are multi celled organisms. We have hands, eyes, nose, legs, everything. But these creatures, they don't have organs in their body. They don't have hands, legs and all. Okay, so why we accepted this microorganism as our national microorganism? Because it is very much helpful in our everyday life. So you all consume curd, isn't it? So you all know how we get curd, isn't it? Milk is converted into curd. Okay, you know how milk is converted into curd? Because when we the whole night, when we keep it for a whole night, this microorganism bacteria, it will react with the milk and it will form curd. Even the batter we cook for idli, dosa and all, this type of microorganism, it reacts with the batter, the flour, idli dosa flour, and it makes some it makes it into tasty dish. Okay, so curd is known for its digestive quality and cooling capacity. So whenever our body attains heat, we can consume curd so that it cools our body. So next is national currency. So our Indian currency is Indian rupees. So our currency is released by Sir Shah Sur in the 16th century, and earlier it was named as rupiah. So the rupiah was finally transformed, changed into rupees. So the rupee symbol was designed by D. Uday Kumar from Tamil Nadu in the year 2010. So you all know the symbol of rupee, isn't it? So this symbol was designed by Uday Kumar of Tamil Nadu in the year 2010. So now let's move on to the final symbol, that is our national calendar. So during the reign of Emperor Kanishka, he followed a new calendar in the year 78 AD. So when the spring equinox falls on March 22nd during the leap year, he started this type of calendar. Okay, so it begins during leap year, it begins on March 21st. So this calendar made by Emperor Kanishka was accepted as our national calendar. Now let's move on to the national holidays. Important national holidays. Okay. So the first one is Independence Day. You all know every August 15th we hoist a flag in the presence of our principal in our school ground, isn't it? So every August 15 we celebrate Independence Day. So in remembrance of our freedom from British rule. So during this day, the world's biggest democracy born. Okay. So India is the world's biggest democracy. What is democracy? It is a form of government made by the local people, the common people. So only the common people choose their leader. That is called democracy. So India is the biggest democratic country in the world. So uh, during Independence Day, the Prime Minister of our country will go to Red Fort in New Delhi and he will hoist the flag there. Then next holiday, Republic Day. So what is Republic Day? This day is celebrated during January 26th, 1915. Okay. So when our country attained freedom in 1947, even though we have removed Britishers from our country, the law we followed, it was based upon the British law. So the British Queen was the head of our first citizen of our country. So even though we got freedom, the law was followed, the British law was followed in our country. Okay, we followed the old system of British rule. So what happened? Mm, the important scholars of our country, they gathered together and they formed a new law and constitution of our country. So this new constitution was established on 26th January 1950, which we call Republic Day. Okay, so during Republic Day, the president will go to Red Fort and he will hoist the flag. During Independence Day, Prime Minister will go and hoist the flag in New Delhi. During Republic Day, President will hoist the flag. And the last and final holiday is Gandhi Jayanti, that is the birth of our uh, father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhiji. He was born in October 2nd. So this day was declared as International Day of Non-Violence by United Nations in the year 2007. So every October 2nd is celebrated as National Day of International Day of Non-Violence because he followed the principle of non-violence, that is fighting for our rights without any weapons. So with this our civics lessons get completed.